So today I'll be reviewing Pokemon Journeys episode 75, Cresselia, A Midsummer Night's Light. This episode was the final part of the two-part special featuring the return of Darkrai, Cresselia, and the return of Dawn. And I have a lot of thoughts when it comes to this episode, but I'll talk about them at the end. So the episode starts off with Dawn and Chloe finding Cresselia, and Dawn talks about the time when she met Cresselia, which is a reference to episode 108 of Diamond and Pearl, by saying that it should be on Full Moon Island. After that, Dawn tries to get close to it to heal it, but Cresselia is wary of them. But Chloe's Eevee steps forward, which reminds Chloe of what her father said to her about people in Pokemon facing each other earnestly. And to do that, Chloe decides to tell Cresselia that they want to help it, which gets Cresselia to open up to them and allows Dawn to treat its injury. And one thing I really like about this scene is the fact that it shows Chloe's willingness to help and understand different types of Pokemon on her own. So after that, Dawn talks about how Brock taught her a few things back when they were traveling together, and she talks about how Ash is a Pokemon freak since he thinks about nothing but Pokemon, and Chloe ironically says that she knows someone who's just like that. After that, Chloe talks to Dawn about what led her to Sinnoh, and about seeing Dawn's mom on TV, then about how after meeting Eevee she realized that she didn't need to rush into things and it would be fine for her to hesitate and enjoy trying new things. Then Dawn talks about how Piplup decided that it didn't want to evolve, and she tells Chloe that things will be fine and says that thinking really hard about it for a long time will lead to her answer, and that's how the greatest dreams are born. And I really like this quote from Dawn because it lets Chloe know that she's allowed to take her time thinking of her dreams since that's the best way of going about it. After that, she tells Chloe that she should enter a contest, and this leads to Dawn changing into her new lunar outfit and doing a contest move with Piplup. And after being impressed, Chloe tries to attempt it with Eevee, but ends up soaked in water. And this pretty much wraps up the first half of the episode. After their conversation is where the plot with Darkrai and Cresselia kick in, since both Dawn and Chloe end up in a dream where they see what happened with Darkrai and Cresselia. Then we switch over to Ash and Go, who end up chasing Darkrai, who Team Rocket tries to capture, while Dawn and Chloe run away with Cresselia, and this leads to the reunion with Ash and Dawn. Not to mention the legendary duo of Piplup and Pikachu, but unfortunately they didn't have much time to talk to each other, and we didn't get any references to our past Sinnoh adventures aside from Ash mentioning Brock. Instead, the rest of the episode focused on the plot with Darkrai and Cresselia and the connection between the two, along with the Matori Matrix, who showed up pretty late in the episode to battle us. And aside from some nice bits of animation, the battle wasn't all that great, but it was nice seeing Dawn in action again, and Chloe battle with Eevee. But once Darkrai and Cresselia are free, the problem somewhat solved itself since Darkrai was strong and Cresselia could heal. So after Darkrai puts Team Rocket to sleep with Dark Void, Cresselia heals itself with Lunar Dance, and they both return to Full Moon and New Moon Island. And once everything is all over, Chloe talks about the relationship between Darkrai and Cresselia, showing that she's learning to understand how Pokemon feel. And the next day we learn that the eggs Professor Cerise were taking care of were Piplup eggs, which was pretty cool. And the episode ends with them having fun at the beach in a very well animated scene. And Chloe says that they should be leaving, but Dawn says Eevee is more interested in the sea right now. And Chloe's just like, well, it's summer vacation, so I'm assuming they didn't go to the contest since the only reason she wanted to go was because of Eevee. So that pretty much wraps up the episode. So now for my thoughts on the episode and the special in general. And when it comes to this episode, it was definitely a tale of two halves. I think it started off great with us seeing Chloe take the initiative to help out Cresselia. And after that, we got some great moments with Dawn and Chloe, who talked about her past experiences while giving advice to Chloe, which led to Dawn showing Chloe a contest move and Chloe trying it out herself. But later on in the episode, I think things started to lose its flow when you had both the Team Rocket trio and the Matori Matrix. The Team Rocket trio felt really unnecessary in this episode, and it feels like they were just on screen just because, and the fact that they didn't acknowledge Dawn in the episode made their whole inclusion feel forced. And the Matori Matrix didn't show up till last minute, and we were never given a real reason as to why they wanted Darkrai and Cresselia. It feels like the Matori Matrix and Team Rocket just weren't both needed in the same short arc. I think just learning about Darkrai and Cresselia and having one of them would have been just fine. I think we had too much going on for a 2-episode arc, and because of it we didn't get to see the contest happen at all, not to mention much of any interaction with Ash and Dawn, or learn about what Dawn has been up to since leaving Sinnoh. In Gary's return, we learned about Project Mew, and in Iris's return, we learned about what she's been up to since leaving Ash. We saw her new Pokemon, and how she progressed in her Dragon Master training, not to mention her becoming champion of the Unova region. But in these last two episodes, we didn't really learn much about Dawn in regards to her Pokemon, her goal, and if she's become a top coordinator yet. So when compared to Iris's return, it feels like we're missing something, at least from a fan perspective. But when it comes to Dawn's role in these past two episodes and her interactions with Chloe, I would say that she did a pretty good job. I think Dawn was able to do exactly what she was supposed to do when it comes to being a mentor for Chloe. I would have preferred a whole episode of Dawn just talking to Chloe about her journey and experiences, followed up by a contest, rather than having the Matori Matrix for the sake of having villains. So overall, I would say that I enjoyed this episode from start to finish, and the special in general. They did a good job of talking about Darkrai and Cresselia and explaining their relationship, and Chloe was able to learn from Dawn. We also saw Dawn perform a contest move, which we haven't seen in 9 years, and we got nice bits of animation throughout the episode. I also really enjoyed all the references that we got in this episode, and how they were able to include Ash and Go in this entire arc without them getting in the way at all. So I will give this episode an 8.5 out of 10, and since the last episode scored a 9, this arc gets a 8.75 score, which isn't bad. But I think a lot of us expected more from Dawn's return, and I'm hoping we'll see Dawn return in the future, especially since we know that another Sinnoh arc is coming later this year. But all that aside, let me know what you thought of this episode in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and bye.